Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we're going to be going over 10 things that I wish I knew when going to buy my first car. By the way, you might be hearing some scraping today, or like rubbing. Those are my tires. They're a little too low, but I'm not going to actually raise it up because I just like how it looks so much, and it's not that bad. So if you hear some scraping, that's why. But yeah, we're getting into 10 things I wish I knew before buying my first car, or going to buy my first car, whatever you want to say. But just some tips and tricks if you're a new time car buyer. So coming in at the number 10 spot is check engine lights are pretty serious. Okay, they definitely matter. Now sometimes, you know, it's just gonna be like an O2 sensor. That's actually why my check engine light is on right now. But they matter. On top of that, check engine lights don't always actually pop up, because what happens is a car will throw a check engine light, and if the person ignores the check engine light for long enough, the light goes away. It's still there. It's still, you know, the problem's still there, but the light will go away, and then it'll come back again pretty soon. That's a beautiful new Edge Mustang. But yeah, that's always being an OBD scanner. Always scan the car for engine codes, and then if you see something wrong, you're gonna need to fix that. Okay. Coming in at the number 9 spot, however, is don't bite off more than you can chew. What I mean by that is, you know, let's say you're going to look at a beautiful 300ZX. You're a new time car buyer. You don't know that much about mechanics and all that stuff, but you really want a 300ZX. So you go look at this one, and it has problems. Okay, it's got a lot of problems. It's going to need some work. You're probably not going to be able to fix those problems on your own. So if you don't have somebody else around you that's going to help you fix those problems, don't buy that car. Wait until there's a car that you want that is running, and maybe it can have a couple small problems that you can fix, like I said, like the O2 sensor. That's not hard to fix. It's not hard to learn either. So yeah, things like that is fine. But if it has like a large problems, like if a water pump or something is bad on it that you don't know how to fix, dude, do not buy that car. Oh, scrape. Don't buy that car. You're just biting off more than you can chew. And just be honest with yourself, man. You know, be honest with yourself. Coming in at the number, oh my god, bad scrape. Coming in at the number 8 spot is good mileage. Like, what is good mileage? Depends on the car that you're actually buying. This is pretty obvious for most of us, but I feel like a lot of people, you know, as a first-time car buyer, they get this idea from like the internet, like, okay, around 100,000 miles is bad. That's not the case. This car has 150,000 on it. My Z has 120,000 on it, and they both, well, the Z doesn't run, but that's a wiring issue. But the engines are both healthy and fine with no issues. You just need to know what you're buying. Yeah, if you're buying a BMW M3 with a V8 under the hood, yeah, buddy, you probably, you know, want to stay away from the 100,000 mile one. But if you're buying a BMW 328i with the 2.8 liter straight 6 under the hood, then that's fine. 100,000 miles on that is completely fine. Some cars, 200,000 miles are fine. Diesel trucks, dude, can go to like 300K all day, every day. Jeeps, like the old straight 6 Jeeps, the old like Cherokees, those are fine too to go up to 300,000 miles all day. So it really just depends on what you, on the car that you're actually looking at, whether or not the mileage is bad. So always do research on their mileage. Like right now I'm trying to buy a 335i F30. I think that's going to be the next car after I get rid of this Integra. I think that's going to be the next build. And I'm looking at them, and like mileage over 100K is sketchy for those cars because they're an N55. So I have to kind of keep that in mind. So just, you know, always remember that not every car is the same in terms of reliability in their mileage. Coming in at the number 7 spot is always negotiate, because not only is negotiating going to save you some money, but if you negotiate some price off your car, now you learned how to negotiate for the next time, and you can apply those tactics. And you can negotiate with more than just cars, people, okay? If you ever want to buy a house, you're going to need to negotiate. If you want to buy a business, you're going to need to negotiate. Big purchases, almost every big purchase, you need to negotiate. It can save you a lot of money throughout your life. So even if you don't really need to save money on this car, like let's say you found a great deal and it's $5 grand, and it's like a $5,000 manual IS300, right? With only 80,000 miles. Like, yeah, that's a good deal. You should probably buy that car. But when you're there looking at it, you know, point some things out. Be like, okay, well, this might need to be fixed. This isn't that great on it. Would you take, you know, $4,500 for it? And even if he says no, at least you tried. At least you got a little bit of learning experience under the hood. The worst they can say is no. You know, they're not going to be like, you're not going to be like sitting there and be like, okay, would you take $4,500? And they're going to be like, get off my property, get off. I'm going to shoot you. Leave me alone, please. No, it's not like you're gonna spark a schizo. What's the word I'm looking for? Schizo. What the hell is the word? You know what I'm talking about? Schizomaniacs or whatever they're called. You're not gonna spark one of those like attacks in somebody. Okay, you're just gonna probably be told, nah, man, I'm not really, you know, budging on the price here. I'm very firm on it. So, but anyway, coming into the number 6 spot is to obviously check everything. You got time, okay? If that person is all like, okay, well, let's hurry it up, tell them too damn bad. Okay, so check things like the engine lights, or any sort of lights on the dash, actually, as a matter of fact. And you sort all the fluids, the tires, the brakes, do a cold start on the car, and honestly, just anything else that you think you want to check. If you live in a winter area where they throw salt on the grounds for some goddamn reason, I hate them for that, but if they do that, you know, check underneath the car. Is it rusty? That's cancer, man. That's car cancer. Does the check engine light? Is the check engine light a minor thing? You could also get really lucky that way. My friend Jimmy, he bought a 350Z with 90,000 miles for only $4,500 because the person thought that it was a throttle position sensor, but it was actually just a tire pressure monitoring sensor. And so he got really lucky and managed to take off with the car. So you definitely want to check things, because not only could you A, use it to your benefit, but B, you know, you can walk away when it's something that's too bad. Always check the oil pan, rub your fingers across the oil pan. Is it leaking oil? There's been so many times I've walked away from cars because they leak oil. Most of them are German. German cars love to leak oil. So, you know, just check things, guys, that's all. Make sure you check everything. Don't be like afraid of making the guy like annoyed at you, because guess what? He's not the one spending $5,000. You are. So if you are spending $5,000, yeah, you're gonna take the time to make sure that it's worth the $5,000. That coming into the number 5 spot, this kind of goes back into the other one because I already kind of mentioned it a little bit, but it's just look underneath the car. Rust and leaks are very bad. Again, I'm just gonna kind of like quickly glance over this one because I already kind of mentioned it a little bit in the last one, but yeah, dude, look underneath it, get on your hands and knees, get a little dirty, it's worth it. Coming into the number 4 spot is bring somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. I cannot stress that enough. If you go with someone who has no idea anything about cars, let's say you bring your freaking mom, okay, and she's like, oh yeah, it looks cute. That's not a good thing, okay? We already know the car looks cute. What we're trying to get at is the car cute, or is the car a demon? Okay, so bring someone that knows, whether it's a friend that knows a little bit or a dad that knows a lot. Just bring them, okay? I know you want to be your own man, your independent man, and you just want to, you know, go there and see it yourself, but you don't know that stuff yet. And pay attention to what they're doing. You know, if they go there with you and they're looking at things, pay attention, because that person is not always going to be able to look at the car with you, and so you can learn some things from them and learn what to look at. Just always, I highly recommend bringing someone that's going to be able to tell you whether or not they think the car is a good deal or not. Just saying. Coming in at 3rd place is don't get too overwhelmed and just pay attention. It's so easy as a first-time car buyer to go to somebody and feel like a lot of pressure. You know, you have a lot of money in your pocket. This person that's talking to you, it probably is using big words and acting like they know what they're talking about, but don't let that get to you. Listen, buddy, who cares? You're never gonna see this guy again. Even if you buy the car from him, you're never gonna see him again, okay? It's just some random idiot. Who cares about the guy? You go there with your head held high and confident in your own abilities to decide whether or not you want to buy this car, okay? And again, you know, don't get overwhelmed and pay attention. Pay attention to what the guy's saying. You know, if he's saying, oh, I'm getting rid of it because it's just too unreliable for me, then you don't want it. If you're saying he's getting rid of it because he's moving away, but there's no for sale sign outside of his house, he's probably lying, you know? So just keep that in mind. Just always remember, like, to pay close attention to the guy that you're talking to, and just don't get overwhelmed. Yeah, it's a big purchase, but guys, let's face it, as a first-time car buyer, you're probably spending, what, $5,000 on it? $5,000 over the course of your entire life is not going to really be that big of a deal. So, you know, it sucks if you do lose it all, but at the end of the day, if you make a bad decision and spend $5,000 on a car that's not worth $5,000, you'll make that money back eventually, man. It's just gonna be a little bit of a setback. Coming in second place is don't trust the seller. They are not your friend. Holy moly, I can't believe I have to like mention this multiple times. I've had to say this so much, but guys, a guy that's selling the car does not care about you. He wants to make money off of you. So if he's telling you like, yeah man, just trust me, don't trust him. Don't. That is the opposite of what you want to do. You want to take everything that he says and distrust it, you know? Make sure that he is telling the truth. Don't take his word for it, okay? It's horrible. And he knows that, okay? It's not like you're going to be the bad guy there. If you don't trust what he's saying, he understands. Because he wouldn't trust what he's saying. He doesn't trust you. Let's say you're like, okay, yeah, I want this car. You want to hand me the title and I'll sign it and everything and come pick up the car, then I'll send you the money in the mail. He's not going to do that because he doesn't trust you. Same reason why you shouldn't trust him. Do not trust them. If they don't trust the ad either. People lie in their ads all the time. Oh, then no problems. You go and look at it and it's got 15 different problems. Don't. For the love of God, people, you can't be too nice, okay? It's pretty much a business if you think about it. You're buying a big item from somebody else. And in that case, he's the businessman. Businessmen are jerks. They want to scam you out of every dollar you got, okay? So don't trust these guys. And finally, the first thing, the number one tip I have for a new time car buyer is know when to walk away, okay? I fell into this mistake myself the first time I bought the car, and I've learned since then, but I've seen it happen with so many people. And I know your dad has told you it, I know your uncle's told you it, your mom has told you it, but guys, if you don't think this car is worth it, walk away, okay? It's really that simple. I know that you are finally old enough to get your hands on your first car and you just want to start your car journey. I know it's eating you alive on the inside. You've been playing Need for Speed for the past 10 years, watching Fast and Furious movies. All your friends have a car and you just want to get one. But guys, I promise you, it is going to be worth it if you just walk away from a car that your gut is telling you not to buy and wait until the next one. There are plenty of fish in the sea. I guarantee if it's your first car, you're not finding the best deal out there anyway. So if you just wait a little bit longer, you'll find another good deal and maybe that one will be good. But even if that one isn't good, walk away again. I know it sucks. Trust me, I do. I really get it because I made the same mistake with the 350Z. I thought the 350Z was a great deal. I bought it for $5,000 and that was not a good deal. I made a bad decision there. So the money was burning a hole in my pocket though, and I finally wanted to own a cool car, so I bought it. But it was a mistake, and you gotta realize, like, this Integra was not a mistake. I love this thing, and yeah, it has a lot of miles on it, but it was $3,000. I looked at like 10 different cars before I ended up actually buying this one. I looked at a 328i E92, I looked at an E46, I looked at two Hondas, I looked at a bunch of different cars before I actually settled on this Integra. I looked at two RSXs before this was the car I decided to choose on. And you got to know that it's okay to do that. On top of that, it's gonna save you money, man. Like, there's a lot of massive benefits to walking away that you're going to be happy with yourself over when you actually end up getting the car in the long run. How many minutes are we at? Oh, only 13. Dude, we're kind of okay. We're doing good today. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's it. You know, that's pretty much, those are the 10 tips I have for a new time car buyer. If you are a new time car buyer, I highly recommend you use these tips to your advantage. And if you aren't a new time car buyer and you have experience, please leave comments down below helping out the new time guys, okay? Oh my God. But yeah, you know, we're a community. We're supposed to help each other, okay? Help these kids out, you know? I know that they don't like to listen anyway, and so most of them probably won't listen to what we have to say, but just in case there is one or two of them that want to listen and are going to use the tips, you know, leave a tip down below for them. Something that I missed. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.